listening to America's newest true crime comedy podcast. Death and Entertainment starts now.
The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Live from Los Angeles.
Hoo-ah! Here we go!
This is exciting, isn't it?
We'll do it live. We'll do it live! Fuck it!
It is 7 p.m. Do you know where your deados are?
Well, it's actually 7:20.
Hey, don't look too quick. A little late here. Good to see you guys. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another edition of Death and Entertainment Tonight Live. What is going on, everybody?
It's a beautiful evening here in Los Angeles.
Warm, sunny Los Angeles.
We have a few technical difficulties, but you know what? Not as many as the Rust set.
Ooh, getting right into it. Let's get that transition going.
Oh yeah.
First story of the day. Okay.
When we have technical difficulties, nobody dies.
That's true. Hopefully.
So all of you out there might be thinking, more Rust news?
Yeah, they won't go away.
What could possibly be happening? Well, Miss Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, the Rust armorer who was recently found guilty, she's requesting a new trial now.
And where is she requesting that from? Oh, just prison.
Yeah, that's the first thing I would request if I was locked up.
This is kind of fucked up in here. Can I please get a new trial?
That's all you cling to, I'm sure. This idea that you could somehow get a new trial, change the verdict.
Oh, yeah.
Overturn the results.
Yeah, we were listening to some Aaron Hernandez phone calls from prison, and he was like, I'll be out soon. I'll see you guys soon. He was already sentenced to prison for life and still just thought he's going to walk out of there like next month.
Yeah.
After an appeal.
New evidence was going to come in.
Yeah, okay.
Another tattooed football player did it.
Hi.
It was all just a big misunderstanding.
I just happen to be around every shooting that happens within a mile of myself.
And related to the victims.
Yeah.
Yeah, so last Friday, she asked a judge, Hannah Gutierrez, that is, to release her from jail and grant a new trial. And right now, she faces up to 18 months in prison. The sentencing has not happened yet.
Good Lord.
Yeah. I mean, that's about it, really. They seem to think, her attorneys seem to think that the conviction will be overturned. I guess what else are you supposed to say?
I mean, that's all you can say. There was one lawyer that said, as a lawyer, he had to learn to not apologize for losing the case because it's not his fault. And so they must not say sorry and then just work on appeals to make it seem like they're doing something better than what they did in the courtroom.
Yeah.
But sometimes the evidence is just there, man. What can you do? She fucked up. She's got to pay for it in some way or another.
Yeah, and then Alec Baldwin is simultaneously fighting the grand jury decision to go to trial.
Yeah.
Which, good luck with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's putting all his effort into stopping this thing. Scheduled for July. And no way is that not happening.
Right.
That's the event of the year.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. Hannah's attorneys, Jason Bowles and Monica Barreras, argued in the motion that a state Supreme Court opinion issued on Thursday will, quote, almost certainly lead to her conviction being overturned.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Yeah. And Alec Baldwin is going to return to SNL with the Donald Trump impression.
Yeah. This says from Variety.com, they said the challenge relates to the instructions that were given to jurors. The jurors were asked to find that Gutierrez-Reed loaded live ammunition into Baldwin's gun and or that she failed to properly check the ammunition. The defense contends that the and or conjunction allowed the jurors to convict even if they were not unanimous on either act. That's interesting. So there are some people that might believe she loaded the ammunition, and then there's some people that might believe that She only just didn't check it, and it doesn't matter. So if they don't agree on which one it is, usually you would have to completely agree. That's an interesting little fold there.
I don't know where I stand either.
Yeah.
I'm not sure she loaded the gun. In fact, I don't think she did.
Ooh.
Do you think she did?
I don't know. It could have been Hall's.
I think she was reckless, and
She was just high.
although who else would have loaded the gun though, really?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm back to thinking she did it. See, all you got to do is think about
All
it
I got to do is talk to myself for a second.
for a second,
Yeah.
and you get to the right answer.
Yeah, there are deliberations for days and months, and you can do it in 30 seconds. I like that.
But technically, this is all wrapped up. She was found guilty,
Yeah,
and she's serving jail time.
but this says here on Thursday, the state Supreme Court overturned the conviction of 2 daycare workers on similar grounds. In that case, the jury instructions included.
What's that story all about?
Yeah, they loaded a prop gun at daycare.
Yeah, what really? Are they saying what happened at this daycare?
No, they
Is
just
it like that the McMartin case where there's like Satan worshiping cult
yeah.
and sacrifices going on there?
I don't know. Seems like a creepy case.
But no, you're right. There are certain convictions that have been overturned.
Yeah, the Supreme Court found that the and/or conjunction created confusion and misdirection and ordered a new trial.
Confusion and misdirection.
Yeah.
Sounds like the Rust set.
Nice. There we go.
Cosby's conviction was overturned. He's free.
Oh, God. Yeah, because he was like, I'm blind and in prison.
I would have bet you $1 million Cosby was never going to see the light of day outside a jail cell
No.
in his lifetime. And he's free.
Yeah.
And they're trying to overturn the Menendez brothers conviction now.
That I actually would support.
Yeah.
And after knowing we did two very good episodes on the Menendez trial and murders and everything. And
we know too much about that now.
Jose Menendez was a piece of work and a pedophile and just a scumbag.
And his wife was an enabler
and knew about it.
And she partook in some of those late night activities.
Jeez, yeah. So any pedophile, in my opinion, should be destroyed in a similar fashion.
She was just very weird at the least.
Yeah.
Kitty Menendez.
Shannon agrees with us. She supports the Menendez kids getting out. Shannon, you also asked that there's no bail until her sentence. She was not sentenced yet. That's going to be in April.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's no bail for sentencing.
I don't think she does much time.
Yeah, and she'll accrue this time, and it will be time served.
Yes.
So if she gets 18 months, then she'll still have all this time that she spent in jail put towards that.
And it was sort of shocking when she was locked up right away after the verdict.
Yeah.
You know, they took her right away in cuffs. But if you think about it, isn't that the preferable way to do it? Would you really want to sit around another month or two knowing that you have to go to prison eventually?
Yeah, I'd take it now. Like, just
get it over with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of the times they go to jail instead of actual like full on prison. So
while they wait sentencing.
Yeah, exactly.
So it'll be a better experience.
Yeah, much. It's a friendlier experience here at jail.
It's not like Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, a little bit more user friendly in jail.
Well, Aaron Hernandez was user friendly.
Oh boy!
If you heard our last episode,
yeah. If you haven't, go get after it.
Well, anything else on Rust for right now?
I think that's it.
Okay, more to come, obviously.
Yes.
And now let's transition to our next story.
Ooh.
All right, Kyle, what do we got?
Our next story here, we're going straight into the whole Boeing situation here.
Ooh, that's our top story, one would say.
Ooh.
Our top flight.
Yes. Let's join the Mile High Club together, shall we?
Yeah.
Boeing whistleblower John Barnett found dead in the U.S. This is very odd. He had spoken to family and friends and said that if he was found dead and it looked like a suicide, he did not do it. Which is one of the most hilarious practical jokes to do if you actually end up committing suicide.
That's a good point.
Like, hey, if I end up dead with a gunshot to my head and the gun in my hand, I didn't pull the trigger.
In some ways, that takes all the pressure off of you then.
Yeah.
Because nobody will view you as a suicide case.
Right.
And you'll have this air of mystery about you forever.
Yeah.
Rather than just being another statistic.
Right. Yeah, so he was the whistleblower that said that Boeing's planes were not ready to go out.
Yeah, he worked in the quality control department.
Yeah. So that's his job, is to let you know when it's not quality. And he has to control it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say John Barnett worked at Boeing for more than 30 years before retiring in 2017. In the days before his death, he had been giving evidence in a whistleblower lawsuit against the company. Boeing said it was saddened to hear of Mr. Barnett's passing. Yeah.
Sorry. It's so absurd.
Yeah.
They're sorry to hear about it.
Oh, we're so sorry.
They're sorry that they had to murder him.
Yeah. So sorry he had to get whacked. I mean, he had to go. It was said the 62-year-old had died from a self-inflicted wound on March 9th, and police were investigating.
By self-inflicted, they mean they brought it on himself.
Yeah.
By whistleblowing.
Yeah, from 2010, he was employed as a quality manager in the North Charleston plant. The facility builds the 787 Dreamliner, a state-of-the-art airliner used for mainly long-haul routes.
More like the Nightmare Liner.
Oh, Freddy Liner. The 787 Dreamliner actually was the most pleasant experience I've ever had on a plane. Going from straight LAX to London to do shows.
Do you realize how much danger you were in?
I guess not. It was the smoothest flight. There was no turbulence. It was amazing.
Okay. I guess that's the gamble you take.
I'm working for Boeing.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And I heard that when they first showcased the Dreamliner in 2010,
yeah,
that it was completely fake.
What was fake?
When they were, you know how like Steve Jobs used to trot out the new iPad and showcase it at a conference?
Yeah.
Well, they did this with the Dreamliner.
Mm-hmm.
And then when investors went up close, everything was made out of wood and things were glued together.
Shut up.
So they didn't even have the plane ready.
Oh my God.
It was all fake.
That reminds me of the Cybertruck that got brought out with Elon Musk, and he's like, our windows are bulletproof.
Oh,
and he
yeah.
throws a rock at the window and it just explodes. Not that one.
No.
Oh, Tifflish is saying John Oliver did an episode about Boeing and all the shady stuff they've done. Worth a watch. I haven't seen that one.
I saw it.
Oh, you did?
It's excellent.
Wow.
I concur.
Was it recently?
Yes. At the beginning of the month. Interestingly enough, I think just a few days before his passing.
Oh, wow.
And he's not featured on the episode.
No kidding.
But Oliver does an amazing job chronicling the entire history of Boeing and how it's led to this pathetic state it is in today.
Yeah.
Including the the information that, let me get this guy's name.
Was there
a former CEO, Philip Condit? He's the one that oversaw a merger with the military company McDonnell Douglas. They made military aircrafts. They merged with Boeing in 1997, and that was overseen by then CEO Phil Condit, who married his first cousin.
Ooh, cousin fucker.
Yeah. So Boeing really keeps it in the family.
Yeah.
In every which way, because later on, they had inspectors that worked for Boeing.
Inspector Gadget, Inspector Deck,
Inspector Clouseau.
You God, Ghostface Killer.
And these were the inspectors inspecting the planes.
Wow.
That worked for Boeing. So it was incestuous.
Literally.
Yeah, all over the place. My God.
Hey, we see each other at family parties. We should fucking have kids together.
And 97 is probably the starting point, that merger, where things really went downhill. Because after that, it became about the stock price.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Boeing cared about only. Not whether people were comfortable on the plane, not if they had the best safety standards.
Mm.
They wanted to give the best stock price.
Whew. Well, if you bought stock early, that'd be amazing.
And yeah, so Oliver details exactly how it just became money focused instead of, being an innovative company that it started out as.
Yeah. Did they have a costume character for that one?
They didn't.
I don't think any of our fans know this, but
All right, tell them.
John Oliver is one of my biggest employers for the last few years. Since season 1, I've gone and been multiple of those characters you've seen in sketches. The horny space gecko from seasons 1 and 2, and Marshmallow, the polar bear with a broken penis, was also me.
That was my favorite.
Yeah, and Tico, the Ecuadorian clown, when we made fun of Rafael Correa.
That's a whole story.
That caused an international incident.
And a zebra.
Oh, the Bolivian zebra, yeah. Yeah, that's me.
And it really is Kyle.
Yeah, it really is. Look it up. IMDb that shit.
Unfortunately, he can't show his face on camera, but...
Well, the clown one, you could actually tell it's me.
Really?
Yeah, you could tell it's my face.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's,
I've
never talked about it on the podcast ever.
You walked in for the clown makeup session. They're like, oh, okay, we don't really have to do much.
Oh yeah, we already got a clown in here. Perfect. Yahweh.
But yeah, that's very cool, and it's a great show. So
yeah, it is a great show, and he's as nice as you would think he would be. He really is.
Really?
Yeah, he's awesome too.
Wow.
Yep. Good guy.
He has a way of explaining things to make it very understandable, yet very entertaining.
Yeah.
And hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they do a parody ad at the end of Boeing.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the spokespeople is like, and we always land safely most of the time.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, that's great. All right, we got a video here?
Yeah, okay, so we have a couple clips here. I guess this is when the news broke about John Barnett, the whistleblower's death.
Oh.
And family and friends smell a conspiracy.
Doesn't pass the sniff test. I'm the sniff quality controller.
That he did not commit suicide. There's no way.
First tonight, our investigative reporter Ann Emerson has new information in the death of Boeing whistleblower John Barnett. A close family friend of Barnett says he predicted he might wind up dead, that a story could surface that he killed himself. But he told her, don't believe it. Ann?
Tessa, Barnett's family friend Jennifer said they had talked about this exact scenario playing out, but his words seemed like a premonition. He told her, don't ever believe it.
I knew John because his mom and my mom are best friends.
Right.
And so over the years, get-togethers, birthdays, celebrations, and, whatnot, we've all got together and talked, and, that's how we really know each other.
And when Jennifer needed help one day, Barnett came by to see her. They talked about his upcoming depositions in Charleston. Jennifer knew he filed an extremely damaging complaint against Boeing. He says the aerospace giant retaliated against him.
That's the other thing. You don't go from giving a deposition in a case that you've been promoting for years and then just kill yourself.
Yeah.
He was giving depositions, days before.
Yeah.
An extremely damaging complaint against Boeing. He says the aerospace giant retaliated against him when he blew the whistle on unsafe practices. For more than 30 years, Barnett was a quality manager. He'd recently retired and moved back to look after his mom in Louisiana.
He wasn't concerned about safety because I asked him, I said, aren't you scared? And he said, and his voice and the way he would talk, no, I ain't scared. He said, but if anything happens to me, it's not suicide. I know that he did not commit suicide. There's no way. He loved life too much. He loved his family too much. He loved his brothers too much to put them through what they're going through right now.
And he basically told you not to believe it.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. Not true. He's got too much to do, likes breathing. And he did. He had a lot of plans of things that he wanted to do.
What do you think happened?
She's trying to crack jokes here, and the newswoman is giving her nothing.
Yeah.
He likes breathing. Then
Like-
crickets.
Plans of things that he wanted to do.
What do you think happened?
I think somebody got in there and made, money can buy anything nowadays, it seems like. And there's a lot of evil in this world. I think somebody didn't like what he had to say and wanted to shut him up and didn't want it to come back on anyone. So that's why they made it look like a suicide.
The last time she saw Barnett, it was at her father's funeral in late February. He was one of the pallbearers. Sometimes family and friends referred to him by his middle name, Mitch.
I think everybody is in disbelief and can't believe it. And I told everybody that I don't care what they say. I know that Mitch didn't do that.
And just because John Mitch Barnett is dead doesn't mean this case won't move forward. His attorneys say they're still prepared to go to trial in June. Working for you, Ann Emerson, News 4.
Wow.
So he is going to check out right before this big trial.
Yeah. That is fishy,
Yeah.
to say the least. Yeah, the actual problems he said he found, they were fitting substandard parts into the aircraft on the production line. Serious problems with oxygen systems, which could mean 1 in 4 breathing masks would not work in an emergency. He said
1 in 4.
Yeah, 25% of people are just going to choke to death if something happens and they get depressurized. That's crazy. Soon after starting work in South Carolina, he had become concerned that the push to get the new aircraft built meant the assembly process was rushed and safety was compromised, something the company denied. Yeah, of course they're going to deny that.
But there's so many things now, they can't deny everything at this point.
Yeah. And if it really was about the stock price, there's no way that it wouldn't be rushed.
Right.
Because they want to get that price pumped immediately. Be like, all right, we have these fucking brand new state-of-the-art aircraft that are going to take everybody from everywhere, on these long-haul flights from one country to another. It's going to be beautiful.
Yep.
And
it was not.
Yeah.
There have been more than one crash.
Yeah, that was like the Boeing Max. I think that was the software system. I don't know if he had anything to do with blowing the whistle on that, but there were plenty of people saying, do not use this software. And there were 2 crashes because of it.
Yeah. Because they had, like you said, they were rushing to have a state-of-the-art aircraft.
Mm.
And then they told everybody, it's basically the same as the other one, so you don't need to do that much training. It's kind of the same operating system. And it wasn't. So even though they should have gone through extensive training for the new model and they didn't get that, the pilots.
Wow.
And then a lot of pressure was put on the pilots where they're the last line of defense against certain errors.
Yeah.
So they would have to put, as John Oliver pointed out, Post-it notes in,
shut up.
Yeah, on the inside the cockpit saying like, okay, you have to turn this feature off then, and you have to make sure that this isn't on for over 20 minutes, like the fan for this. Or
I'm the guy that takes a peek in the cockpit every time just to see what the pilots look like. If I saw a bunch of Post-it notes everywhere, I'd be like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
With just question marks on shit. That would be fucking terrifying.
It's also not something that you should have to focus on as a pilot.
Yeah.
Like making sure that their shitty engine and their software is safe. That should be done before it gets to them.
Yeah. So he was supposed to go in for more questioning for this deposition. And when he didn't appear, that's when his lawyers called asking for him at a hotel. And so they found him in his own vehicle with a gunshot wound to the head, holding the gun. The easiest way for this to go away is the hotel releases the video of him getting in and out of his car by himself.
So where is it?
I don't know.
I want to see the video.
Yeah.
Done. Proof that he killed himself.
Exactly. It would be very easy to prove.
So what are they saying? They can't find it?
I don't know. I don't know if the hotel has actually said anything. Let's see. Because I know they asked and they sent a woman out who was working at the front desk, and she's the one that found him and freaked the fuck out. Like, why did they send her? Like, they can't get the cops over there.
You go check on the car.
Yeah, can you see where the guy blew his own brains out
with the blood splatter?
Yeah, jeez. Yeah, that's brutal.
So we have an interview here. In case anyone forgot, it was a Boeing in January, the Alaskan Airlines airplane. That incident where the door blew off.
Oh, that was Boeing?
Yeah. So before we hear this, I'm sure you all remember this. It was big news. I actually was riding a plane when that story broke.
Oh, my God.
I was coming back from Wisconsin.
Shut up.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Oof.
So the door blew off when they had just took off. And so obviously they had to land immediately. Can you imagine if that happened with another 1,000 feet?
Yeah.
It would have been catastrophic had it happened a little bit later. And this was a brand new Boeing aircraft.
Wow.
It was not an old plane.
Holy shit.
Door just blows off. And so TMZ interviewed Barnett about this after that incident recently in January.
Wow.
So let's hear what he had to say then.
Oof.
The FAA is saying that the plane is now safe to fly. What do you say?
One, this is not a 737 problem. It's a Boeing problem. And I know the FAA's gone in and they've done due diligence and inspections to assure that the door plugs of the 737 are installed properly and the fasteners are torqued properly. But my concern is, what's the rest of the airplane? What's the rest of the condition of the airplane? And the reason my concern for that is back in 2012, Boeing started removing inspection operations off their jobs. So it left the mechanics to buy off their own work. So what we're seeing with the door plug blowout is what I've seen with the rest of the airplane, as far as jobs not being completed properly, inspection of steps being removed, issues being ignored. My concerns are with the 737 and the 787, because those programs have really embraced the theory that quality is overhead and non-value added. So those two programs have really put a strong effort into removing quality from the process. When I first started working at Charleston, I was in charge with pushing back defects to our suppliers. And what that meant was I'd take a group of inspectors and actually go to the supplier and inspect their product before they sent it in. Well, I'd taken a team of 4 inspectors to Spirit Aerosystems to inspect the 41 section before they sent it to Charleston. And we found 300 defects. Some of them were significant that needed engineering intervention. When I returned to Charleston, my senior manager told me we had found too many defects and he was going to take the next trip. So the next trip he went on, he took 2 of my inspectors. And when they got back, they were given accolades for only finding 50 defects. So I pulled that inspector aside and I said, did Spirit really clean up their act that quick? That don't sound right. And she was mad. She said, no. Said the 2 inspectors were given 2 hours to inspect the whole 41 section and they were kicked off the airplane.
Wow.
Yeah, that guy sounds suicidal, doesn't he?
Yeah, super.
He's got no mission in life, no direction.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he seems real depressed.
Boeing is so sad to hear of his passing.
Very, very sad to hear of this man's passing. Yeah, that's like the killer showing up to the friggin' funeral.
Yeah, which happens all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, Shannon's saying that there was another Alaska Airlines flight that had a front windshield crack, and the pilot almost flew out. They were holding him by the waist, but he was half out of the plane and was dead when they landed. I remember hearing about that.
When was that?
I don't know if that was recently or years ago.
My God.
The window had the wrong size screws by 0.02 millimeters. How fucked up is that?
Unreal.
Pilot hanging out of plane. That's 1990.
Wow.
It was a British Airways pilot, was sucked out of the cockpit window mid-flight. He spent 20 minutes partially dangling out of the plane as the crew held his ankles.
Like the Twilight Zone episode, Nightmare at 20,000 feet.
Yeah. Oh, they're saying the pilot survived.
So that's like a story of survival and
holy shit. Yeah.
Endurance.
Sucked out of a plane, they're holding you by the ankles, and you're just like, ah!
Gravity 2. Yeah. Electric Boogaloo.
And then surviving that, be like, woo, that was crazy.
That was a rush.
That was awesome.
Who's got some cocaine?
Yeah. Oh, the panel blew out of the plane as...
And you blew my mind.
Woo! As they were flying at an altitude of 17,300 feet.
I'm sure when the door blew off the Alaskan Airlines flight in January, it was a thrill to survive that. Because one passenger said he saw it happen, and then all the outside air is coming in and kind of sucks. What's the word I'm looking for? Sucking them out. Yeah. They're starting to feel that pressure. And he said he didn't even believe what he was seeing. He just turns and looks, sees, that there's no door.
Yeah.
Because it didn't compute, because that should not ever happen on a commercial flight. That's how crazy it was.
Well, that's curious. Imagine that, dude. Oh my God.
Why is my scarf flying towards the clouds?
Why is my drink
rolled
out of this plane?
He keeps trying to sip his whiskey, and it's just like...
That would be so fucking scary. You
I
can't
know.
even...
Yeah, I can't think of anything scarier besides actually, crashing and blowing up.
Yeah, this is crazy. So this 1990 British Airways thing that says explosive decompression forced Captain Tim Lancaster headfirst out of the cockpit, leaving his upper body pinned against the exterior of the plane, and his legs got caught in the controls, hurling the jetliner into a fucking dive.
This sounds like the end of Goldfinger.
It's like Clifford.
Yeah.
Flight attendant Nigel Ogden quickly jumped into action as Lancaster was launched out of the cockpit window. I whipped around and saw
He grabbed a bag of peanuts.
Yeah.
And filled the cracks.
Eat these. Yeah. I whipped around and saw the front windscreen had disappeared and Tim, the pilot, was going through it. He had been sucked out of his seatbelt, and
he was going through it. All right.
All I could see were his legs.
He gets home. He's like, boy, did I have a day.
Yeah.
Scary. So he's seen legs flailing about.
Yeah.
And then what?
Jumped over the control column and grabbed him around his waist to avoid him going out completely. His shirt had been pulled off his back and his body was bent upwards, doubled over around the top of the aircraft. Oh, so he's like getting the wind, his back.
I cannot even. Wow.
He's like, fucking what's her face?
What?
With Leo DiCaprio in Titanic.
Oh, Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet. He's like this at the top of the fucking thing with no one holding him behind. Just going, ah!
Is that what dogs feel like when they stick their head out the car window?
Yeah, his tongue's just aye.
How frightening.
That's so fucking scary. Yeah, so his shirt got ripped off like the full Monty, and then he was just getting stuffed backwards.
Not like the full Monty.
Yeah. Ogden said he was
Brokeback Mountain,
holding onto Lancaster for grim death, but I could feel myself being sucked out.
Grim death.
Yeah.
Why not just death? Why you don't need an adjective for death? We get it.
I guess British people say holding on for grim death. Instead of us, we say hold on for dear life.
I see. Grim death. Okay.
Yeah. Other flight attendants rushed to help. The pressure made Lancaster weigh the equivalent of 500 pounds. Who, according to Ogden, who got...
Well, he put on he was eating a little more than usual lately, but you don't have to
yeah,
make him feel bad about
it. It's probably what saved him.
Like Goldfinger.
Yeah.
He was a big fat guy. And he would have survived getting sucked out initially because his belly wouldn't go through the hole.
Yeah.
Then Bond finishes the job and just stuffs him out.
Yeah. So the flight attendant that's holding on to him, he got frostbite. I can't even imagine what the actual guy who's outside.
Right, it's cold. Yeah, how does the guy survive outside?
Yeah.
Because that's a chilly wind.
Yeah. He got frostbite in a dislocated shoulder.
Like Jack from Titanic.
Yeah.
On the raft.
I'm the king of the...
when Winslet pushes him off.
So Alistair Atchison, who's the co-pilot, they said he probably would have been sucked out of the plane too if he hadn't been still wearing his safety harness from takeoff. But they said the other guy was wearing his safety harness.
And how big was this hole?
Or his seatbelt. Is a safety harness different than a seatbelt?
I'm sure it's British for seatbelt.
Yeah.
They also called crackers biscuits.
Yeah, and parking lots, car parks. The force of the explosion had thrown Lancaster's legs forward and turned off the autopilot. Wow. So that's good. Because he would have kept flying at the same altitude, he would have been dead. They had to go into a nosedive.
Yeah.
To get him on the ground.
Wow.
The plane roared toward the ground through some of the most congested skies in the world at more than 400 miles an hour. Ooh.
It's a wonder no one else was injured. This could have been way worse.
Yeah. His face was banging against the window with blood coming out of his nose and the side of his head. His arms were flailing. Most terrifyingly, his eyes were wide open. Oh, my God. Wait, so he's bent around sideways looking at the fucking... looking back through the window? That would be so scary.
What's this guy's name?
Tim Lancaster.
I want to see what he looks like now.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Wow.
Images.
He looks like a normal human. I don't know why I expected his face to have been ripped off.
Yeah.
Or like he'd have permanently blue skin with like spiky white hair.
He kind of looks like Mark got into a fight. This is Mark during St. Patrick's Day.
Wow.
Oh, shit. What's up, Manu?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't look that much worse for wear. Really?
Wow. The crew saved pilot Tim Lancaster from being sucked out of the cockpit.
Jesus. Lucky guy.
Oof. And they show the positioning of his body. You see that?
Yeah. Yeah. That's about what I was imagining.
Yeah. Fucking A, dude. That would be so scary.
Let us hope to not have to go through that ourselves.
Yeah, may you never experience that terror.
I always say this. I'm done with thrills. I don't need them.
Yeah.
I don't need to go skydiving. I don't need the bungee jump.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with meta.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Good golly.
Just take me to the meta poker table.
Yeah.
Talk about getting sucked out on.
Hey, there you go. Little poker humor for you.
And I have a bit of if we want to listen to like a minute of that John Oliver parody.
Yeah, let's do it.
He really is so great. That show does such a good job. You're awesome, Kyle. You're the reason that you're a Peabody Award winner, right? For playing the zebra.
Yeah, something like that. All right, let's see here. All right, we got it.
At Boeing, we make the impossible happen on a regular basis.
At Boeing, we take pride in our work.
At Boeing, we... Sorry, can you back the camera up a little bit? Really close. At Boeing, I'm sorry, it feels very tight.
At Boeing, we believe the first step in making a difference is believing you can.
And I'm not talking about any difference. I'm talking about a positive difference in share price. The share price needs to go up and stay up, like our planes do almost all of the time.
Since its founding, Boeing's been built on quality, safety, and trust.
And then we thought, let's try something new.
I joined Boeing because I wanted to invent things no one ever dreamed of. And they told me if I wanted to do that, what I needed was to invent a time machine to 1992.
I did tell him that. And I think the joke landed, like our planes do, almost all of the time.
Whatever it is we do at Boeing, let's do it right.
Or let's do it close enough to right that no one can tell the difference from the outside.
You get the drift.
Yeah, that's awesome. They even got what was that, Gale?
Yeah, Gale from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
The competing chemist.
Hell yeah.
He's awesome. And he's terrific in the last season of The Wire as a
really?
Yeah, a slimy reporter.
Oh wow. I still have not seen The Wire.
Let's give him a shout out. David Costable.
Ah, shout out. Big fan.
He stars in John Oliver parodies and Breaking Bad and The Wire. That's pretty good.
Hey, so me and him have been on the same TV show. I'll take that.
What's
up?
Congratulations again.
Yeah.
Kyle's never going to let us forget.
I've never talked about it on the podcast.
That he is the zebra on...
I forgot. You remembered that.
Last week tonight with John Oliver. And he's best friends with John Oliver.
Oh, yeah. We go way back to season 1. There was a worse one where the entire roof of biz class flew off the plane and the flight attendant flew out. Holy shit.
I mean, I've heard of tear the roof off, but my God.
Wow.
That's a little much.
Yikes. Good Lord.
And October 2018 and March 2019, 346 people were killed in the crashes of Indonesia's Lion Air and Ethiopian Airlines. Both were Boeing 737 aircrafts.
Oof. Wow. Oh my God.
And apparently on kayak.com and other flight websites, they had to move the filter up where you choose the type of aircraft because so many people were deselecting Boeing lately in the last 6 months.
Wow.
And there was a leaked video in 2014 from the assembly line from the factory of Boeing where one of the workers goes around with a hidden camera talking to other workers, asking them point blank, would you ride one of these? Would you get on a Boeing aircraft? And all of them say, hell no.
Wow.
The workers.
That's crazy. This Aloha Airlines, this is the business class, the roof came off and a flight attendant got sucked out over Hawaii.
And did that flight attendant survive?
I think it's safe to say no.
They found him in Honolulu.
Yeah.
Buried in the sand, feet up. They pull him out. He's like,
yes.
Woo!
Legs are just kicking. Little help.
He's got a martini in one hand.
Yeah, he crashes through like a bar tiki hut on the beach.
Yeah, and he's
comes out with like a lei on and a
those...
Hawaiian shirt.
And people are singing around him with ukuleles.
Yeah.
Starting to sound like the White Lotus right now.
Yeah. April 28th, 1988, the roof of an Aloha Airlines jet ripped off midair at 24,000 feet, but the plane managed to land safely, except for that one flight attendant.
Yeah.
Damn. That is so fucking scary. Dude.
It is. But planes are scary if you think about it too much. Even though it is still, statistically speaking, the safest form of travel.
Yeah.
Way safer than driving.
Yeah.
Yet, it's still pretty frightening.
It's terrible. It's because so unnatural.
You're in a metal box, crammed in like sardines. All you have to entertain yourself are reruns of The Office.
Yeah.
And they let you pick peanuts or a cookie or a biscotti.
I say both.
Yeah, because they have to give you both.
Yeah, they will give you both.
And I say I want water and
both.
Coca-Cola.
Oh, I just get drinks on drinks on drinks when I fly. I don't like flying very much, and I very rarely have flown sober because I'm too scared.
That's just a coincidence, though.
I'm too scared. Yeah, it just happens that I'm in a plane getting wasted. Yeah, so that is R.I.P. to that.
The flight attendant.
Or flight attendant, yeah.
Do we have a name on that person?
Yeah, I can, after I look at these pictures here.
Oh, there's pictures of the...
Yeah, they're in the thing right now.
Let me see.
Why?
Oh,
Just
my
right there.
God.
That's so crazy.
Wow.
Clarabelle Lansing, known for her loyal work and style of wearing flowers in her hair, was tragically sucked from the aircraft when the fuselage came apart. Her body was never found. Oh my God.
That is very sad.
Jesus. That's my biggest fear, is being dead in the ocean and no one can find you.
Well, you're dead.
Yeah, but I'd rather people know where I was.
Rather than being eaten by sharks.
That's so scary.
I know.
Dude. Imagine you're just dead and then a whale just comes along and eats you and shits you out. So scary.
But it is part of the circle of life in some ways. That's sort of beautiful if you think about it.
Is it?
A whale shitting you out?
Fuck no. There was a guy, I think he was from Massachusetts. Let's look this up. Man, he was in the water. I think he was a fisherman. I think he might have been gone overboard or something, and a whale swallowed him. But he was too much to handle, so the whale puked him up and he survived. Man puked
The whale.
by whale.
The whale was picky.
Yeah. Brendan Fraser wasn't in the mood. Oh, yeah, this is in Cape Cod. I was completely inside. Lobster diver swallowed by humpback whale off Provincetown. The whale was just like, ew. Icky man.
Sounds like a bad grinder hookup.
Yucky.
What was the guy's name? Geppetto?
Yeah. A little before 8 a.m. Friday, and this was June 11th, 2021.
Oh, recently.
Yeah, veteran lobster diver Michael Packard entered the water for his second dive of the day.
Oof.
His vessel, the J&J, was off Herring Cove Beach and surrounded by a fleet of boats catching striped bass. The water temperature was a balmy 60 degrees and the visibility about 20 feet.
This sounds like a romance novel.
Yeah. Licensed commercial lobster divers literally pluck lobsters off the sandy bottom. And this Packard, 56, dove down Friday morning. He saw
It's so descript, sandy bottom, balmy.
Sandy bottom. It's not just your ass after the beach. It's also where you go to get lobsters in Provincetown.
Hey.
What?
Be nice.
Dove down Friday morning and he saw schools of sand lances and stripers swimming by.
Okay. Don't you hate when that happens?
The ocean food chain was in full evidence. Yeah, they were probably going past him being like, swim away.
They're trying to tell him.
Finding Nemo.
Yeah. He's like, I don't speak minnow.
Yeah. About 10 feet from the bottom, Packard suddenly knew what it truly felt like to be a part of the food chain. It was something truly biblical.
This is so dramatic.
Packard was swallowed. Well, yeah, when you get swallowed by a fucking whale.
I guess biblical is a good word.
Pretty dramatic. Let's see. All of a sudden, I felt this.
Like I haven't been eaten like that since
I was on the beach.
Leave some things to the imagination.
All of a sudden, I felt this huge shove, and the next thing I knew, it was completely black. Whoa, why is it going to be black, bro? Packard recalled Friday afternoon following his release from Cape Cod Hospital in Hyannis. I could sense I was moving. I could feel the whale squeezing with the muscles in his mouth. Ooh!
This is like The Empire Strikes Back now.
Yeah, where he's getting crushed.
When they're inside the worm, the giant worm.
Yeah. Initially, Packard thought he was inside a great white shark, but he couldn't feel any teeth, and he hadn't suffered any obvious wounds. It quickly dawned on him that he had been swallowed by a whale. I was completely inside. It was completely black. I thought to myself, there's no way I'm getting out of here. I'm done. I'm dead. All I could think of was my boys who are 12 and 15 years old. Outfitted with scuba gear, he struggled and the whale began shaking its head so that Packard could tell he didn't like it.
Did he live inside the whale for a few months then?
Yeah. He's got his candle.
Yeah, he sets up a desk.
Yeah.
Gets some writing done. Puts up the pictures of his kids.
Yeah. He's got the old timey pajamas, the long hat.
He eats some. What are those? The lancer fish.
Mm-hmm.
He eats some lancers that come in.
Yeah,
from the whale.
He estimated that he was inside the whale for 30 to 40 seconds. That's got to feel so long.
Right.
When you know that you're inside another animal that's about to digest you.
We talking about P-Town again?
Yup. Lucky that whale was vegan, Manu said.
Yeah. Yeah, the whale. It's a picky vegan.
Mm. Yeah.
like hippie.
Yeah. He's threw his head from side to side, and then next thing I knew, I was outside in the water.
Wow.
Oof. Who lives in Wellfleet? That's where I used to go to watch the drive-in movies, which I saw Goldfinger in Wellfleet.
Oh, so it's
full circle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you say it's in Wellfleet?
Wellfleet. Hello.
That's quite a story, though. Quite a story of survival. How did we get? We're talking about Boeing to being eaten by whales.
Talking about the person who flew out of the airplane into the water and how terrifying it would be to be a part of that food chain. And then, there was a Massachusetts man who was and said it was terrifying.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't believe him.
Oh, you think he's full of shit?
Yeah.
Wow. Let's get him on the pod. Have you call him out. I don't know.
No, I guess I believe him.
Yeah.
Stranger things have happened.
He was on Jimmy Kimmel, so maybe he was lying to try to get some clout.
And while we're at it, I want to remind people about, you see my hat?
Oh, yeah, gold member. Good point, Zach.
Chile.
Chile.
Uruguayan flight 571, 1972, crashed into the Andes Mountains.
Oh, boy.
Many people died. Those that survived
ate each other.
Lived there for months.
Yeah.
And had to eat human flesh.
Are you talking about the plot of Alive?
It was based on that, and we're going to cover this story someday.
Ooh, coming soon to a podcast near you.
Absolutely fascinating. But ever since I heard that story, I always think of that on an airplane. Like, it's terrifying to me.
Wow.
And the movie Alive does a really good job showing the crash. It's actually the most realistic and the most frightening depiction of a plane crash in cinema, in my opinion.
Yeah, because they're like smiling and laughing and stuff, and then all of a sudden, boom.
And the plane gets cut in half.
Yeah.
And you see it wide open in the back. Seats are flying off. People are hitting their heads, like getting, like flown forward.
Yeah.
And jostled around. And then the thing just hits the mountain, slides. That is insane.
Yeah. There was a video of people, it was like a family, and they were in a small plane with like 6 to 10 people. And I believe they all died, but there's video of them and they're just sitting laughing, like getting ready to land. And then boom, it just cuts out. So I imagine it's the same.
Yeah.
Same type deal.
The rest of the movie is a little silly, but that scene is amazing. Well, because they're supposed to be like Spanish people.
Yeah.
And it's Ethan Hawke.
Yeah. It's whitewashed.
They're speaking English the entire time, but with the slightest accent.
Yeah.
When are we going to look for land?
Yeah, I mean, Hollywood
Please
whitewashing.
have a bite.
It happens.
Murray would want you to eat him.
Matt Damon played a samurai, for Christ's sake. Or was that Tom Cruise?
Both.
Yeah, exactly. So we're talking about Hollywood here.
So anything else about Boeing crashes, whales, the whale, starring Brendan Fraser, anything else?
That took a hard right. I believe not. I believe that.
But it was not wrong.
No, we will come back with any more stories or any more evidence that pops up in that case. We will follow the actual trial that's going to go on and happen. So
this story is just beginning.
It might get interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Another story. Keith Morrison finally opens up about Matthew Perry. He had never publicly spoken about his stepson, which I think is very odd. And that just happened.
It's wild to imagine being partially raised by Keith Morrison.
Yeah. And it really hit me too, because they're both huge stars on NBC.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Keith had anything to do with the fact that Matthew got booked on a show for NBC. Dateline and Friends are two of the biggest shows in NBC history.
That's very interesting.
Do you think he did some, nepotism moves there?
So you think Perry was a Nepo baby?
I mean, he could have been. We don't know. Maybe that's why he never talked about him publicly, because he didn't want people to think, oh, I helped him out.
Perry lived in Canada and Los Angeles.
Yeah.
When he was younger, he would bounce around. And in his formative years, he was definitely in Los Angeles, because remember, he did that movie with River Phoenix, Jimmy Reardon.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I will say he was already sort of getting things before Keith Morrison came to prominence.
Yeah.
But you never know.
Yeah.
Maybe Keith made a call.
Yeah. Yeah, he was getting things before he did the Oscar award-winning movie, Almost Heroes.
Chris Farley's last role.
Yeah, that was his Wagons East, huh?
Yep.
Jeez.
Directed by Christopher Guest.
Which, that blows my mind, because Christopher Guest is usually very good. And that movie...
Hold your horses.
Yikes.
Hold your bison.
Yikes.
Almost Heroes is not as bad as you remember.
It was almost not quite bad.
Really? I think I must have been 13 or so when I saw it on video.
Yeah.
And I thought it was hilarious.
I got it on video too. I rented it, but I couldn't get into it like everything else, like Tommy Boy or anything that, I was super excited for it.
Look, I'm not recommending this to everyone out there, but
neither's anyone else.
But I will say this, if you dare give it another watch, if you like Christopher Guest, you're going to notice some of his repertory players in it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to notice some crossover humor.
Yeah.
And Chris Farley does have a few funny sequences. So I would say, compared to Black Sheep, it's much better. If you like all that stuff.
Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes, 5%.
But what does it matter? What do they know or care about those kind of movies? They never support those kind of comedies.
Well, here's nobody supported this. Budget, $30 million. Box office, $6.1 million.
Yeah, well,
money talks, baby.
I think you're going crazy. Suddenly, if a movie isn't profitable, you think it's bad?
Hey, I don't think it's bad. The world thinks it's bad.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, I don't want to be Mr. Almost Heroes.
Yeah, you're dying on that hill.
So Matthew Perry, that was his big movie. He did a Valentine's movie called the one with Selma Hayek.
The whole 9 yards?
No.
Or the whole 10 yards?
No, not that one either. Sad we never got to the whole 20 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that name escaping me? It's an Elvis song. Fools Rush In.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So his movie career wasn't looking very good until the whole 9 yards changed that.
Yeah, but then not for long.
No, then it was very short-lived.
Yeah, exactly. Keith Morrison, Matthew Perry's stepfather, Keith Morrison, is opening up about the actor's death almost 5 months after the Friends actor died from the acute effects of ketamine.
What's cute?
The cute effects of ketamine. Yeah. When
oh,
you die.
Look at him. He's
curled up.
He's cute. He's curled up like a little baby.
Who's drowning?
He's dribbling.
Yeah.
Get him a bib.
Jesus Christ, that's dark. The Dateline correspondent married Perry's mother, Suzanne Perry, in 1981 and recently revealed in an interview that they're still coping with the loss of the actor.
And she worked for Pierre Trudeau in Canada.
Pierre.
So Matthew Perry was around a lot of heavy hitters.
Wow.
Growing up. His dad was sort of a free spirit. After the divorce, he's the one that went out to California.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And then we have a clip here of the interview he did with Hoda. We love Hoda here.
Hoda's one of the nicest people ever. She's awesome.
What was that? Hoda.
She's one of the nicest people ever. She's
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
You met her, right?
Yeah, we worked together on Lip Sync Battle. I worked behind the scenes, and she was on one time. Nicest person, and she was on a couple other shows that I got to meet her and talk to her. She was amazing.
And she's a good interviewer, I have to say, because on Patreon, you can check out our Jada Pinkett episode.
Mhm.
And she handled Jada so well in that weird interview.
Yeah.
She really tries to get to the bottom of the Smith craziness.
Well, she actually listens and she actually cares. Like, she's not one of these celebrities that'll just like only wants to talk and that's it. She'll look you in the eye and actually listen to what you're saying to her. It's crazy.
And so same with this interview. It's a sweet interview between two NBC colleagues with a lot of respect.
Come face to face with a killer. Off camera, Keith lives a relatively quiet life in California with his wife of 43 years, Suzanne. Together, they've raised 6 kids, including the late actor Matthew Perry, who was just 10 when Keith and Suzanne married.
I never tried to replace his dad, but I was there for him, and he knew it, and we were close.
Their family suffering an unimaginable loss in October of 2023. How are you and how is your wife after Matthew's passing?
Well, it's as other people have told me hundreds of times, it doesn't go away. It's with you every day. It's with you all the time. And there's some new aspect of it that assaults your brain. And, it's not easy. It's especially for his mom. Toward the end of his life, they were closer than I've seen them for decades and texting each other constantly. And so he was happy. And he said so. And he hadn't said that for a long time. It's a source of comfort, but also, he didn't get to have his third act. And it's not fair. As he said himself, if I suddenly died, people would be shocked, but not too many people would be surprised. And he was right, I think.
Did it surprise you?
It was the news you never want to get, but you think someday you might. So, yes and no, I guess, is the answer to that.
Yeah. Do you still feel his presence? Do you sense him?
We do this. It's that this become this funny trope of Dateline. Lit up a room, right? Or the center of the room. Well, he was, and he was always the center of attention. He was acerbic, but even if he didn't say a word, he was the center of attention. So yes, I mean, that's gone, but you still feel the echo of it everywhere.
Matthew's passing coming just a year after the release of his memoir, which chronicled the actor's ongoing battle with addiction.
As he put it himself in his book and in the talks that he had about his book, it is a disease, and it's a very, very difficult one to beat. He felt like he was beating it, but you never beat it. And he knew that too.
Keith, I'm really sorry.
Yeah, well, thank you.
I'm really sorry. In the wake of Matthew's passing.
Yeah.
Wow. That was heavy.
Very heavy, yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
That's empathy personified by Hoda.
Yeah.
And they're both so self-aware because they're both longtime pros in the business. And Keith Morrison is so locked into his Dateline stuff that he's realizing that he's saying the cliches that are always said on his own show. He lit up a room. And
Yeah. Yeah. And he seemed like almost half like, I'm even saying this.
Yeah. But then you have to.
Yeah, you do.
There's really only one way to make a Dateline episode. You have to do that exact format.
Yeah.
She was the brightest star. Everybody loved her.
Yeah.
And then dun 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 on the night of the 27th.
Yeah. Yeah, it must really suck, but he said that he put it on Matthew Perry saying if Matthew said he always said if he died, people would be shocked, but not too many people would be surprised. But I think he's also saying like it was expectedly unexpected or unexpectedly expected. I don't know. I always fuck up those sayings.
Second time, they can't get fooled again.
Yeah, can't fool me, can't fool me. Fool me twice, can't fool me again.
Matthew Perry wrote this book that made it easy for everyone to explain his death because in the book he says everything he needs to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He lays out that how ill he is and how close to death he was many times.
Yep.
So when it happened, you could just point to the book saying, yeah, we weren't surprised, but we were shocked.
Right.
And in the book, he details how his colon exploded.
Oof, really?
Yeah, and a few years ago. So everyone that had happened to died, basically. He was in like the 1 percentile that survived that sort of situation.
Yeah.
So when I read that part, I hate to say it, I didn't think he was long for this world because he was such a broken man physically.
Yeah.
He had the light back in terms of his sobriety, although they found ketamine in his system. But
It's so crazy when someone claims like they're completely sober and then you find out that far from it.
I'm California sober. I only do coke and weed.
Yeah. Someone said in one of our comments one time talking about a celebrity that was claiming they were sober, like you have to be very specific about what they think a drug is.
Demi Lovato?
Possibly.
Because she always said she was California sober after she almost died.
Yeah. Because he probably doesn't think ketamine's a drug. He's like, oh, this is medicine.
Because it was prescription.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a very easy. But you would think someone who's, so open about their struggles with addiction and stuff would be more self-aware.
Not really.
Yeah. I had a friend who always would talk about, oh, I'm just working the steps. I'm sober. I haven't had a drink in 2 years, blah, blah, blah. And would judge people for, doing whatever they did. And he was taking somas the whole time. And I had no idea what they were. I was just like, oh, what's that? He's like, oh, it's like aspirin for your back or whatever. And somas are opiates. This dude was doing opiates for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And was judging other people for not being completely sober because they had medicine that was really a drug.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is crazy.
Oh, I've heard that more than once from sober people.
Yeah.
They're taking all sorts of painkillers, opioids. Oh, I have a bad back. That's why.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my God.
Yeah, that is interesting to get insight into their relationship. Obviously, I think they were close. It sounds like they were close.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I think it was one of those things, though, where Matthew would probably disappear for a while and then have quality family time,
Yeah, probably. That's how a lot of those people were or are. They'll go on a bender, not be home for a while, and then be like, oh, hey, what's up, everybody?
In fact, I'm pretty sure that was the case. He said as much in the book that after that catastrophic incident a few years ago, that's when they really reconnected as a family.
Wow.
And like I was trying to say before, although he was a broken man physically, and let's just take him at his word minus the ketamine, that he was sober, his mind was racing. He was alive again, writing this book, telling his story, playing pickleball or whatever the hell he did at his mansion. He was really enjoying his hot tub. Remember that last Instagram post?
Yeah.
And
yeah, he was there like all the time.
He was feeling good mentally, and unfortunately his body couldn't keep up.
Yeah. I've been corrected. Soma's not an opiate. It's a muscle relaxer.
Okay.
But that's still still fucks you up,
it's
right?
It's in the family, isn't it? I guess it's not considered an opioid, but what is a muscle relaxer considered?
Carisoprodol is a Schedule 4 controlled substance under the Controlled Substances Act. It's a muscle relaxant legitimately prescribed to relieve pain from muscle injuries and spasms.
And then what's the difference between a muscle relaxant and a painkiller?
There's people more knowledgeable than I. Muscle relaxer versus painkiller.
Yeah. Because it seems like those terms could be interchangeable. Because you're certainly relaxed when you take a tramadol.
Yeah.
So relaxed that you'll watch an entire season of The Bachelor in one sitting, and you'll think it's the most riveting thing on television. Not that I know.
Muscle relaxers work by blocking the nerve impulses in the muscles, which helps your muscles relax.
That didn't really clear anything up. The name says it all.
Somacoma, not an opiate. Shannon's saying opiates are Schedule 2. Tramadol is an opiate, but mild.
Mild? Nuts?
To who? What do you want, Shannon? I know nothing about pills at all.
Yeah, that's right. That's one of your fears.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yep.
Good for you. It's the worst thing to get into.
Yeah, we had a friend that we saw, after the
great pandemic.
The pandemic, and we were like, "What are you up to? What have you been up to?" And they were just like, "I think I just got out of a pill addiction."
I was high for 2 months.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, it's scary because it does feel so good. So really the best option, if you can avoid it, avoid it.
Yeah, I guess.
They're very addicting.
Yeah. God damn. Well,
almost as addicting as this podcast.
Hey, which comes out tomorrow. We're talking about Brandy Norwood, the singer who killed somebody on the 405 highway.
Not intentionally.
We'll see.
We might uncover something.
They'll have to listen. But for now, we're listening to the next story here. I have a story that I didn't even tell you about, Alejandro.
What?
This is crazy. A huge development today.
Is it about Delphi?
Oh, so you know about it.
I'm just guessing. It must be about Delphi.
Wow. Why would it must be about Delphi?
I don't know. I just had a feeling you had another Delphi update.
2 new murder charges for our man, Richard Allen.
Okay.
Judge approves new murder charges against the man in case of slain Indiana teens.
See, I'm confused because I thought we solved it. I thought it was Ron Logan, that old fucker who owned the land.
Could have been.
And he looks like the guy in the Snapchat video.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. But they're just piling on charges now. A judge approved 2 additional murder counts Monday against an Indiana man charged in the killings of 2 teenage girls, but rejected a prosecutor's bid to add kidnapping charges. So the prosecutors wanted 2 charges of kidnapping, which, in my opinion, if this is a guy that killed the 2 girls, he held them against their will using a gun, saying down the hill, and made them go into the woods where they were eventually killed.
That's what's said in the audio, right? Down the hill.
Yeah.
They have that 2-second clip.
Hey guys, down the hill. Yeah. That is absolutely kidnapping. That's false imprisonment. But instead of those 2 charges, they added 2 charges of intentional murder on top of 2 cases of felony murder. Not sure what the difference between intentional murder.
Doesn't murder just outweigh all the kidnapping charges?
Yeah, for sure. But if you're really trying to, be technical with everything that they did.
Like if you went into a 7-Eleven and killed everybody inside, would they charge you for shoplifting too? Because you had a Twix in your pocket?
Yes. Indiana murder law.
That sounds like a new show on NBC. Coming this fall.
Indiana murder law. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, this right here is just going over murder versus manslaughter, reckless homicide, involuntary manslaughter.
I guess I'm just surprised because isn't it intentional murder in this case?
Yeah, absolutely. The new charges approved against Richard Allen of Delphi are murder while committing or attempting to commit kidnapping. Oh, so that's weird.
Yeah, it's murder.
It's murder.
I guess it's a different classification of murder.
Yeah.
but it's still murder.
Allen was arrested in October 2022 and charged with murder in the 2017 slayings of 13-year-old Abby Williams and 14-year-old Liberty German. He pleaded not guilty to the original murder charges. Carroll County prosecutor Nicholas McClelland said when he filed the amended charges in January that it, quote, more accurately aligns with the charging information with the causes discovery and probable cause affidavit. In addition to approving the new charges, Special Judge Fran Gull also ruled that all future hearings in the case will be held in Carroll County, other than jury selection on May 13th.
Okay. With that, when is this starting? This May?
Yeah, this summer it's gonna
first trial.
I think the trial is gonna be June. Yeah, so
Wow.
Jury selection's in May.
But this is just for Richard Allen.
Mm-hmm. That's the only person that's been arrested.
I know, but
there's interesting information that just got leaked too. I'm gonna keep reading this and then I'll get to that info.
Just a quick reminder to everyone that there's this whole Odin cult.
Yes,
and I feel like there's 5 or 6 other people involved.
It's quite possible. I think there must be some really, really damning evidence that they got out of his house that they know for a fact that he's the guy that did it.
Richard Allen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there were original reports leaked that they found trophies pretty much from the murders that were on his property somewhere. So, and they said that his wife found it.
Well, that's why this trial will be so interesting, because for the first time, I think we'll get to see some of the evidence that the police have been withholding all these years.
Yeah.
Back to that press conference where the cops hinted as much, right?
Yeah. Gustav is saying, I bet we're going to hear about something new and insane going down in Delphi on Kyle's birthday. Richard Allen could get found guilty that day. We don't know.
Wouldn't that be a party?
If they start the trial in June, that gives us 2.5 months.
Yeah, a lot of iconic, huge things have happened on your birthday.
Yeah.
In history.
Yeah.
The most being the release of Freddy versus Jason in 2003.
The year I turned the age that you could go see rated R movies by yourself, and I saw Freddy vs. Jason as my first rated R movie by myself 3 times, same day. 3 times.
I thought seeing Kill Bill Volume 2 twice in the same day was crazy.
Yeah. The killings have haunted Delphi, a city of about 3,000 people, where Allen worked at a drugstore, the local CVS that I've been to.
Mm-hmm. You've been to the whole scene,
mm-hmm.
which is insane, really.
I have the videos. I'll show some of the videos here today because I haven't actually shown them to anybody.
You threw it on our Patreon, but
just one video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have like 30.
Right. I don't think I've seen all 30.
You haven't.
How much time y'all got?
Yeah.
Kyle's going to go through his own movies.
Yes. Sit down, everyone. The gag order in December 2022, barring attorneys, law enforcement officials, court personnel, and the coroner and the girl's family members from commenting on the case to the public or to the media in any form, including social media. Prosecutors had sought the order, citing intense public scrutiny and media attention. Gull was brought in as a special judge to oversee the case after a Carroll County judge recused himself.
Yeah, excuse yourself.
I gotta excuse myself to recuse myself. Yeah, so just new updated charges that are more appropriate, I guess, is what the prosecutor's saying.
Okay.
If we want to see some of these videos,
sure.
Let me.
And can you explain to them real quickly what this Odin religion is? What are these Odinists worshiping?
They worship the Viking Norse god Odin, who is the father of Thor. And they pretty much just are nerds that go out into the woods and grow beards and sacrifice animals and apparently people as well.
Yeah. So these sickos took it to another level.
Yeah. And there was a local person in and around Delphi that was posting a painting that they made that was very similar to the actual crime scene. And
really
was posting cryptic stuff like, your friends don't ask you what happened when you call them and say you have to hide a body. They help you. Weird shit like that, like right after the murders. So
awful.
There's a few people that might have some splaining to do, but they haven't been looking into them at all.
And I want to clear something up. Do not blame the 80s heavy metal band Odin for any of this. They have nothing to do with this crime.
Yeah, good. Or do they? Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, all the symbolism is hiding in their hair.
We're coming for you, Odin.
And their tattoos.
Had it too good for too long.
There's like 30 years of hints.
Yeah. So I went to the actual scene of the crime, and just to see what it was like when I was driving cross country this summer working, and pretty creepy area. That's the highway. The highway right there is underneath. So it's very close to the visible public. That's where the girls were dropped off, and they walk in over this bridge to the actual trail.
And that bridge leads to the area where they were murdered.
Yes.
Do you have that footage?
Not of them.
No, of you walking it.
Jesus. Yes, I do. I'm gonna.
So this is the infamous moment that Kyle called me.
Yes.
While he was filming, and he said, "Dude, I'm at the murder site."
Yeah, I was shitting my pants.
He was shaking. His voice was trembling.
Yeah. I was scared as fuck.
I thought he was gonna pass out. So I'm like, Kyle, don't be scared.
Go.
But also, why are you there? You should get out of there soon.
And you don't realize, because like it's very public there. As soon as you start walking into the woods, those woods are so thick, like you could have someone right next to you and not even see them.
Like you could have been murdered there, and they might not have found you for a while.
I was having terrifying thoughts of someone being like, "Why did you come here?"
Right? Because
And I'd be like, "I don't know. I'm a dumb fuck."
Yeah, because you're trespassing on this murder site.
Yeah, I mean it's public. It's public property,
but Ron Logan owned the adjacent property.
Yeah, I'll show that, and then I'll show the car that followed me out of there. It was so scary.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Got another video somewhere.
But yeah, you were so scared. And then I was scared thinking of you
93
about to get murdered.
Yeah. 9379.
And so then you said, okay, check up on me in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, to make sure I'm not dead.
And then you didn't answer.
Like that.
So that's a long area.
Mhm.
It looks like, how many miles is that you think that you'd have to walk to get to where those girls were?
It's over a mile from where I am right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Oh. And then the Monon High Bridge Trail, I mean, I guess starts with this, and then my truck is parked over there. All right. Let's continue the journey here.
Yeah.
9401.
Looked like it was raining that day.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So you sacrificed a lot to bring us these videos.
Yeah, I got a little wet.
Wouldn't it be creepy if we started seeing like weird hill people in the background?
Oh God,
that you didn't even notice?
Yeah, it's possible.
Like there's a clown at the end of the bridge waving.
Oh God. Yeah, this is the build out to the bridge. You're not allowed to go on the bridge anymore, but You can see it goes for quite a while. Yeah, so this is the actual bridge.
And they closed it because of that murder?
Yeah, so they built out so like it was more sturdy to walk on, and then built a fence so that you couldn't get past. You could jump over it very easily, but they didn't want people to keep going because this actual bridge goes to private property, and so they were actually killed on private property, and all that stuff.
All that jazz.
All that jazz. They're probably like just sick of people going out there on their property. And
so that's the public area, and they were taken to Ron Logan's private area.
Yes.
And I mean land.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Wow. Yeah, because it looks very remote.
Yeah.
Like it's fine for you or I walking there, and let's say the infamous murder did not happen there, or two infamous murders didn't happen there. We're just walking around, in the remote countryside. It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's peaceful. It's nice. But imagine teenage girls being there alone. That must be so terrifying. They're so out of their element.
Yeah.
And then you got guys like Ron Logan and the Odinists just waiting to pray.
Yeah.
So where's this?
So this is the bridge. And I was showing like what it was like to start at the beginning of the bridge.
Oh, I see. It's the same bridge.
All right. So I turned around. That trail all the way through there, that's where, they walked all the way through and came to this bridge. This bridge, after they were killed, they made this bridge like nicer so that people could actually walk out and pay their respects, but not go too far or fall off. So they put the railings on the side.
Are you crying?
My sexual breathing.
Yeah, what is going on there?
I don't know how out of breath I was, apparently. Jesus. So
Are you eating a Twinkie?
Just over to where the land is. And we're not even close to the hill.
And that's where it cuts off.
If you can see down there, they were like way through there. Because the hill is, you can't even see it. There's so many trees. Yeah. Manu, that is a new barrier so that you can't keep going on that bridge because it's so rickety and people could fall off easily and stuff. And it leads to private property. So they wanted to stop that since it became more and more of a destination.
The Ron Logan estate?
Yeah.
It leads to?
It leads to multiple private properties, but Ron Logan being one of them, yeah.
And it had become sort of a sought-after tourist spot for true crimers?
Yes.
Wouldn't that be weird if you ran into another person that was just...
Court TV was there today in this exact spot.
Oh, really?
Right at that gate. Talking about the new murder charges.
You see Keith Morrison there? Hello there, young man.
Hello.
Did you know that my stepson was Matthew Perry?
Was on a TV show. All
You
right.
might have heard of it.
Yeah.
Friends.
Oh, wait, that's the one I just showed.
Yeah, we've seen the bridge shot.
Hey, you've seen that one before.
No
eh?
offense, but come on.
Hey, there is a fence there, okay? God.
It's
9418. Okay. I'm just going through the old. I haven't labeled any of these yet.
Cillian Murphy will play you in Kyle's home videos of
So he'd
Delphi.
have to have known.
The movie.
Yeah. So I narrate this one. Here we go.
All right, great.
So he had to have known, dude, like, there's zero chance anyone who's not from here would be willing to risk going over this rickety ass bridge without knowing exactly where they were going and knowing how fucked someone would be if they were on the other side of that bridge. Because if you look here, to be able to get away, you have to come all the way back across this bridge because the highway and everything is over here. So even if you somehow escape, you run down this hill, you go through the water, you have to climb up these rocks, and if the rocks are dry, you're still going to be wet going through this water, so you're still not getting up over there. He had to have known how fucked they would be being on that side, and it's just so disgusting. Yeah.
You were going through it.
Yeah.
I can imagine you feeling the weight of the case when you're actually there. I don't mean to bring this up again, but as you know, I was at Columbine.
Yes.
Not the day of, but later on. And I felt the weight of that tragedy just being there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's what you're going through here.
It's definitely scary. It's the weight is, that's a perfect way to describe it, because you realize like, oh, I've seen this on the news and blah, blah, blah. And then you get there and you realize like, wow, 2 people really were viciously killed right here.
It's real.
And it's extremely real.
And the way you just described it, where they were basically trapped, like,
yeah, because
like animals,
right?
Defenseless.
If you look all the way back across this bridge, because the highway and everything is over here. So even if you somehow escape, you run down this hill, you go through the water, you have to climb up these rocks, and all the rocks are wet. They know that you can't go that way. If the rocks are dry, you're still going to be wet going through this water, so you're still not getting up over there. He had to have known how fucked they would be being on that side, and it's just so disgusting. And I thought I was talking about too in this video, I guess I wasn't. If you look to the right, which I think I showed somewhere to the right, that's to the left. The
other right.
Yeah, your other right. The trail, you can see everything that happens on the river if you look to the right. So they knew that you had to go left because that's where all the privacy is. The trail runs out,
right,
and no one could see or hear you. There were people there was a dog barking that was like maybe 20 yards away from me, but it was so thick in there that I stopped hearing it after like 30 yards.
A dog barking? You weren't scared?
I was terrified, but they were chained up on someone's property. And
Oh,
it was
what?
close by, yeah.
Oh, God.
But I was just like, holy shit. And
Because
yeah,
that happened to me in Chile when I was hiking by myself once.
Yeah.
In the hills. A stray dog came up and started barking at me.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. I'm glad that dog was chained up for you.
Yeah.
You have to like run across the bridge.
I even filmed it. It's probably in one of these videos that even in the video, you could tell how quickly the dog's barking stops in those woods. It's so thick. It's crazy. Let me see here.
And it would have been the dead of winter, right? Is that when it happened?
It happened in February. So even the woods were bare, but even if they weren't, even it being bare, it's still very, very thick.
All the more reason that the girls were in such dire trouble.
Yeah.
Because Indiana winter, I'm from Wisconsin. That's freezing.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana's right near me.
Yeah.
That's no joke.
Yep. All right, let's see another one. 9439.
Do you have any of the videos where you were in with the local townspeople?
You don't really see the townspeople. I want to try to find the Ron Logan property one.
Oh, with the car.
Yeah, the car that follows me from there.
That part is genuinely creepy.
Yeah.
Someone is following you.
Pay no mind to my seatbelt. Fucking
yeah. Weird windshield wiper sound.
Yeah. So we're coming up on Ron Logan's thing and where Richard Allen's car was seen. This is the building. This building on the left right here. farm on the right. This building on the left is the actual building that the security footage from the outside caught Richard Allen driving in his car away from the scene.
Wow. Yeah, the Blair Witch is a good way to describe this.
That's what I'm in reverse. Nope.
Then you run over a possum.
Just look at how thick those woods are.
Yeah, this is the Midwest. This is what it's like. In the summer, it's hot and humid, muggy, lots of bugs.
Yeah.
It's great. Could you put your fucking belt on? God, you might have been killed just by unsafe driving.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm just holding my cell phone in front of me as I'm driving.
You're like William Friedkin. This is going to be an avant-garde shot.
Yes. It was just about to start triggering.
Yeah,
again.
I see that.
Bing, bing,
I
bing,
mean,
bing, 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 bing.
I hear that.
Yeah.
Well, let's get that one of the you being followed.
Yeah. Let me find the Ron Logan one. There's a bunch of
Ron Logan, of course, long dead by this point. Didn't he die in 2020 or something?
Yeah, somewhere around there, 2020, 2021.
On the one hand, sayonara, but he won't face justice.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, that's the one I just played.
We're going to make a super cut someday.
Yeah.
Of Kyle's.
Yeah, this is live. Bear with me.
Oh, we're barren. And that land looks barren.
Grin and bear it. Okay. There's so many goddamn videos.
Well, we can make a teaser for next time.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm just going through.
Reliving it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me.
This is it.
This is it.
This is Ron Logan's home. Oh, okay.
You
yeah.
found it?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
This is it. 9456.
You've heard of Michael Jackson's This Is It. This is Kyle's This Is It.
Yeah.
The Ron Logan house.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, so this is it. This is Ron Logan's home, the guy who they think might be involved with the killings. It's the worst. I don't know why I didn't put my fucking seatbelt on. Yeah, this is exactly it. So they think there was a party on this property. That
And a reminder, Kyle's in a U-Haul truck.
Yeah, my work truck.
So it's as flashy as you can be, not inconspicuous at all.
Yeah, with a huge crack in the front.
And he's spying on a murder suspect's house.
And I think there was a 25-foot long U-Haul truck. A party on this property. So look here. Nice shot of the crack in the windshield here. Right there, there's a black SUV in that driveway. So they think there was a party on this property. That's 1,000 feet behind that house is where they found the girls. Yeah, so there was supposedly a party on the property the night before the girls were killed.
An Odinist party?
Could be. I don't know. Yeah, and then I turn around in this next video, and there's a black SUV right behind my truck. And I'm looking, I'm like, fuck. Someone's following me.
And they hit your bumper?
Yeah. 9457. Oh,
They start shooting at you?
I didn't get the actual
footage of them chasing you.
I have it on my phone. I don't have it on the computer.
Oh, well, we can revisit this.
Yeah, we can revisit this. That's crazy.
So next week, stay tuned for Kyle's chase video.
There's one of the chase. I'll give a little cracked windshield, rain, no seatbelt. Oh, and murder country.
Yeah, you had a death wish.
Yeah, I was literally trying to die, I guess.
But it is entertaining, so if it's the theme.
Let me this will be the teaser. 9456. Okay, here we go.
This summer, Kyle Blue
so this
is about to get chased.
Yes.
Out of town.
By a murderer's relative. Fuck!
What?
This isn't the one.
Okay, we'll do it next week.
All right, we'll do it next
We'll
week.
do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. Yeah, there's a lot to watch. It's probably like an hour of footage total, but
we'll edit it down to 1 minute.
Yeah, I went to Richard Allen's house. I went to Ron Logan's house, and someone from their driveway, after the video I took that's like, oh, there was a party here the night before, I turn around because it's a cul-de-sac, and as I'm leaving, this SUV is behind me, and I look to the left, even with the video camera, and I didn't realize till after that there was no car in the driveway anymore, and they fucking chased me all the way through town. Followed me everywhere I was going, and I took a random left, and the random left I took ended up being right at the police station.
Oh,
and I had no idea, and it was the only time I was just like, holy shit. Thankfully the cops were here.
But aren't they odinous too?
The jail, the corrections officers are, apparently.
So you weren't safe anywhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nope, not really. So yeah, that's new charges for Richard Allen.
And that trial is happening. So that is very exciting because we'll finally get to hear a lot of the details that have been, locked away for these years.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they obviously, like you put it, probably have something on Richard Allen that they're pretty sure he was involved.
Yeah. At least involved.
Yeah.
Well,
we know it's not just one person.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's safe to say.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing that came out. The second sketch.
Oh, the sketches.
That the superintendent of police was like, isn't that something?
Yeah. The press conference.
Yes, this sketch. So you see the one on the left there. This is the original sketch that is supposed to be Richard Allen. And then this person, they were like, this is a murder suspect. They said that the witnesses, oh, fuck, it's not even there. Hold on.
There we go.
Yeah, so this is
the one that
younger
looks like a curly-haired kid.
There were witnesses there that said this guy
He looks
was
like
with this guy.
He looks like little orphan Danny from Newsies or something.
Yeah. So I don't know how it got leaked, if it was in some of the documents or whatever, but there was a witness that said there was a younger kid that looked like that with the other guy who looked like this. So why the fuck have they not caught whoever this young kid is? It's clear that the witnesses even think that there was more than people there.
Either way, there's no way that you are going to mistake a young guy for an old guy.
Yeah.
So the fact that that sketch may not look anything like the kid, but it definitely means they saw someone young.
Yeah.
Which blows my mind.
Yeah.
That these old psychos were recruiting younger people to help them in this crime.
Oh, you need to.
I guess.
If you're a cult, you need the young.
I guess. Sick.
Do all the work for you. Yeah, so that's insane. That it drove me crazy when I heard that today, that Court TV came out and said the witnesses were saying that this second sketch was of the younger kid that was with them.
Right.
So
that's what I'm saying. With this trial, I think a lot of this stuff is going to be explained, including the mystery of all these weird police sketches.
Yeah.
And why they all look so different.
Yeah.
Odd.
Right. Yeah. One of the storefronts in the middle of Delphi I was looking at, because they had these blown up in the window. And while I'm filming it, being like, why the fuck do they have this second person? Because we still didn't know until literally today. I had no idea why that second sketch was around. And as I'm looking at it, I just turn and there's the courthouse. And I had no idea. I was like, holy shit, the courthouse right there where they're going to have all the trials and everything. But yeah, be on the lookout. We will be live streaming that trial all summer.
2 big trials coming up, the Rust and Delphi.
Yeah. Delphi is going to start in either May or June, and Rust will start in July. So that's going to be a heavy hitting schedule right there.
I hope your summer's free.
Yeah, it will be. I'm going to have a kid by then, so I'll be doing nothing but being home. All right, so that's the story.
And that brings us to Hit It.
That brings us to the ha-ha of the week. Week. You have one, and I actually have one, too.
Wait, there's 2 ha-has?
Two ha-has of the week, so we got to play it again. Ha-ha. Double dose of ha-ha of the week.
Okay, so which one are we starting with?
Yours.
Okay. Let me get this going. So y'all remember Richard Simmons?
Yeah.
He went into hiding more than a decade ago.
Yeah, he's been a complete recluse.
Yeah.
Recluse.
I get it. Either one.
Sure.
Tomato. I think that he was such an extrovert that it was nonstop for 40 years?
That's a long time.
To give yourself the way he gave himself?
To fat chicks.
Okay. No, to people that were weight challenged.
Weight challenged. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. And they needed a little boost.
Yeah.
To their self-esteem. To their ego.
Yeah.
To their diet.
So you got to sweat to the oldies, baby.
So Richard Simmons got tired of the limelight. He's been hiding out, but he has been rolling out some tweets.
Yeah.
Lately, including recollections of David Letterman, Howard Stern. It's very interesting, actually.
Ooh, Shannon just hit you with Richard Simmons said he was an introvert.
Oh.
I mean, that would make more sense. That's why he's in hiding, because that's what introverts want to do.
Wait a minute.
He was forcing it.
I think he was both.
I think he's a catty gay guy that's never come out of the closet.
Kyle.
Is he not?
Oh, God. The Boston is just steaming off of you right now. Look, I think he was both an introvert
and a gay guy
and an extrovert. And that's interesting, though. If he's an introvert, that is quite a lot of public performing that he did for being an introvert.
Yeah.
You know what an introvert doesn't do that much.
No. It was
an introvert isn't like, hello.
Yeah.
You'll be swell. With a feather boa.
Yeah.
And short shorts and like body glitter and grease.
Yeah.
That's
who's the
not
guy,
an introvert.
Who was the guy that used to wear like glitter jackets and had a huge mustache?
Rip Taylor.
Yeah. He's like, hi. Yeah. He wasn't an introvert.
Rip Taylor, according to Shannon, Rip Taylor was also an introvert, I bet.
Yeah.
So anyway, we all know what's up with Richard Simmons now. He's hiding. Not hiding. He's just retired.
Yeah.
Well, this week he wrote, I am dying. Kyle?
I'm dying?
Do you have a reaction?
That's not very funny.
He said, please don't be sad. I am ... dying.
Oh, man.
Then he added, oh, I can see your faces now. The truth is we are all dying.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Every day we live, we are getting closer to our death.
Sure.
And people just read that first part, so they thought he was dying.
Yeah.
And he continued, why am I telling you this? Because I want you to enjoy your life to the fullest every single day. Get up in the morning and look at the sky, count your blessings, and enjoy.
Yeah.
But some people saw that, they took him at his word that he's dying.
Of course. Someone tells you they're dying, you think they're dying. Not, oh, we're all dying, sweetheart. There's a difference. If you need hospice, you're dying. If you're just a guy hanging out, not talking to people in your house alone, you're not dying.
George Carlin said the same thing. He said, we're all dead.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, I should never quote something before I know the end of it. Degree.
There you go.
It's just a matter of degree, which is true.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I guess so, but actively dying is different than just...
Wait, so you're mad that he did this?
Yeah.
You don't have a sense of humor about this?
No. I mean, I do. I think it's funny that he would just be so fucking dramatic. Be like, I'm dying.
No, but he was
Are
trying
you
to...
okay? We're all dying, honey.
He's trying to get attention to say, like, enjoy yourself, live life to the fullest.
He could just say that.
No, but it worked because he got more attention by saying, I am dying.
Ugh.
In fact, we're all dying. It's a conversation starter.
No, it's not.
It is.
I mean, it is.
We're talking about it now.
But saying I'm not actually dying, that's a conversation ender, in my opinion.
No.
Yeah.
He's a marketer.
Oh, are you okay? Oh, no, we're all dying. You're dying just as
please.
much as I am.
It's a joke.
Okay, fuck you.
If I did it, you would think it was funny.
Because you're younger.
Wait, so it's okay for a young person. So you're an ageist.
Yes.
Okay.
He's at the point where he really could be dying.
It sounds like you're a gay ageist.
Gageist.
I think it's funny, and he made a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, enough said. I think that it was a good stunt.
Jesus.
Really, what bothers you about it? That's, it's crazy that you would be bothered by that.
It's bothersome to say that you're dying when you're not dying. And then just say, you're dying just as much. We're all dying.
But he explained it.
No, he didn't.
He did.
Not to my satisfaction.
Oh, come on.
He's 75 years old.
Yeah.
For Christ's sake. And he's gone completely away from the media and the limelight. Like, why this? Why is this the one thing that you want to get some attention?
I don't know. And can you play that clip?
Yeah.
Before we get to your ha-ha, I thought we could have a few seconds with the introvert.
Oh, let's see. Sweating to the oldies too, baby.
We're going to study this introvert.
Let's sweat again! Come on, everybody! Come on, everybody!
My Nana used to have these.
Oh, yeah! All aboard! Get those hands going!
And
To the front. Uh-huh. Yeah! Yeah! Take it to the side again, yeah! Uh-huh. Let's get on that train, can we?
who's not smiling out there?
I mean, I'm smiling now.
All right. See, he brings joy to the world. He got a conversation going. End of story.
Yeah.
And that brings us to Kyle's ha-ha of the week.
Oh, yeah. Of the week. There were these two dumb fucks that one friend convinced his other friend to get his legs amputated for a $1.3 million fraudulent insurance claim. And let's see. The men allegedly involved, identified only as Zhang and Liao, have been charged with fraud after only receiving one $7,200 insurance payout, which will reportedly be seized. So two Taiwanese men are facing criminal charges after one allegedly urged the other to purposefully freeze his legs to the point of requiring amputations in what authorities characterized as a botched attempt to collect a $1.3 million insurance payout.
And it's not a fetish thing.
I don't know. They went along with it. They're both in their 20s. They were charged with fraud. Prosecutors said Zhang immersed his feet in a bucket of dry ice for around 10 hours, which resulted in terrible frostbite and required both legs to be amputated. Liao allegedly told Zhang that gang members were after him, persuading him to file a false insurance claim. According to the release, which is translated from Mandarin, Zhang said he suffered frostbite while riding a motorcycle around Taipei on January 26, 2023. Prosecutors alleged that he applied for a life insurance, travel insurance, and accident insurance in the days before the incident. The insurance policies totaled $1.3 million. The pair then went back to one of their homes where the foot soaking took place.
The foot's what?
The foot soaking.
Oh, I thought you said soaking.
Foot soaking.
Your foot soaker.
Yeah, your foot soaker. Cork soaker. After the foot soaking, Zhang was taken to a local hospital where medical staff believed that his injuries were manufactured. The medical staff said that while his feet had frostbite, there were no socks or shoe marks, and the injuries were neat and symmetrical. Prosecutors added in the release that the temperature that day was between 42 to 60 degrees, which is nowhere near the temperature, 32 degrees, that would cause frostbite.
Wow.
Taiwan is a subtropical region, and cases of severe frostbite requiring amputation due to natural climate factors in the flatlands are unheard of.
Oh, my God.
This dude's legs were amputated below the calf. The case was reported to local authorities. During the investigation, authorities seized a dry ice white styrofoam box, a plastic bucket believed to have been used by Zhang, insurance documents, and electronic devices. The pair was subsequently arrested on January 14th.
And did they get the payout?
They got one $7,200 check, and that's going to be seized.
How much is a leg worth to you?
Not to me. To them, it's about $3,600. Prosecutors said in the release that Liao suffered losses from trading cryptocurrency and tricked Zhang into signing a promissory note, ordering him to pay him nearly $800,000.
Wow.
So this dumb fuck
It's not even worth that.
lost money on Bitcoin or probably Dogecoin and freaked out and was like, hey, you need to amputate your legs and get an insurance policy, and you give me $800,000 of that, which means the other fucking guy who didn't no, the guy who got his legs amputated was only getting $500,000, and the other guy who came up with the idea was going to get $800,000.
Why?
This dude is a real pushover.
That's quite the deal he made.
That is quite a codependent friend.
I don't know what would cause someone to go along with that. Maybe if it's one step above suicide.
Yeah.
You know, like they're about to kill themselves, but then they're like, okay, I'll cut my feet off.
Yeah. Lieutenant Lau, you got no legs. You ain't got no legs.
And I like how the doctor said, oh, it's symmetrical. It's pretty.
Yeah.
Like,
God, Shannon has the best jokes. She said literally a pushover, no legs.
Shannon, was this guy an introvert too?
That guy is probably an introvert. He's only going to stay inside anyway. I ain't got nowhere to go. I got no legs. Manu, I have not seen the show You. I've seen a couple episodes of the first season, and then some of the season that Chris D'Elia, who played a sexual predator.
I had to boycott because of Chris D'Elia.
Well, he, some say the guy can act. Apparently, he wasn't acting.
No, I just haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I've heard it's great.
That show's got no legs.
I've heard it's leggy, the plot.
It's unclear if the suspects have entered pleas or retained attorneys to speak on their behalf. So,
and the friend said that it was kind of awkward after this incident happened. They were having breakfast and they were making waffles in the toaster, and the guy went, Lego my ego.
Lego my legs.
And then they paused, depressed for a minute.
There was a long walk to get there. So those are the two ha-has of the week.
Yeah, one was inspiring and the other was Richard Simmons.
Hello.
Goodbye. Thanks for joining us tonight. This was, wow.
Yeah, this was a great one.
We went from Boeing to the whale to...
Yeah. Shout out to Row Her. They said, I recently discovered your podcast. I've been binging it. Absolutely love it. You guys are crazy funny, and Kyle's B-Day should be a national holiday. That's right.
I concur. I tried to make my birthday happen, and
it just
didn't.
Happening.
It didn't have any legs to stand on.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Rapture Cat. 21 in the chat, only 15 likes. Come on, people. The only way we grow is you people to tell everybody. We're here every week. You guys are here every week, and we appreciate you. But yeah, we could definitely get those numbers up for sure.
Oh, we're going to keep growing this year.
Yes.
It's a new show, and
Rapture Cat said, this is the best new channel on YouTube for sure. So cool that you actually went out there and did your own investigating regarding Delphi.
I agree. And if you haven't heard the podcast where we covered it, we've done 2 now.
Yeah,
but
2 episodes on Delphi.
Definitely that first one, Death and Entertainment podcast.
Yeah.
Kyle presents the whole case, and then at the end goes through his personal experience exploring the area. And I think just standing apart from it, even though I'm involved, I thought it was a very good summation of the case.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and more details to come. The trial is going to start. We're going to be doing a lot more live streaming, like we said. So there's going to be those trials being live streamed with Alec Baldwin. And then, you know, if there's a new trial for Hannah Gutierrez, we'll be live streaming that as well.
Yeah, we might have to get more bandwidth to cover all the forehead.
Yeah.
In the Russ trial. Remember that?
More forehead than legs.
Jesus. Those people had gigantic heads.
They're yeah. Could play a fucking movie on those foreheads. So that would be interesting if that comes back up. And then also the Richard Allen Delphi case will be live streamed, and we'll be commenting on it the whole time. As you know, we make jokes around here, so it'll be a little bit more lighthearted. It won't be one of those like lawyer play-by-plays that you see live on a lot of live streaming YouTube.
That's what we should call our version.
Live screaming.
But we are going to lie and say that we're former lawyers.
Yeah.
Just to get views.
We are former lawyers here.
Who
So what's going on? We don't fucking know.
Yeah, who would doubt it? All these people say, oh yeah, I'm a former lawyer.
Yeah.
And then they cover Johnny Depp.
They don't show their credentials, so we could get away with it, I think.
But do we need to?
I don't think we need to, but you need to tune in every Tuesday night at 7 p.m., possibly sometimes 7:15.
Well, we are working out the kinks.
Yeah, we're in this studio, and it's we're trying to get it hooked up with internet, and it's not quite working, so we have to end up running internet. It doesn't matter. You guys don't care.
So you don't want to show behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Kyle. Don't destroy the magic.
Yeah.
We're in Hollywood,
baby.
North.
Yeah.
But still.
Shannon said, as usual, you guys rock. Thanks for another fun Tuesday. By the way, Aaron Hernandez eps were awesome. And thumbs up on Static Selecta. Yes. That is a great fucking album.
What are them things called?
Them things that spin around in your radio. Fantastic album. It's on Spotify. Static Selecta. It is called Extended Play, and it came out the week that Odin Lloyd was murdered by Aaron Hernandez.
And then you can hear an extended discussion about the case.
Yes.
Death and Entertainment, Aaron Hernandez, parts 1 and 2.
That's right.
Now available.
Uh-huh. And yeah, I guess
did we do enough shilling for ourselves?
we got a little shilling out there. So until next week.
Don't go dying on us.
Bye-bye.